He tore up my competition photos, said I photoshopped my face onto a real lifter's body, then curled my cancer-ravaged frame like I was a toy. When I finally opened up about my records, he smirked and said, "Tell that to the scale, skeleton." I just stared at him. That was 5 months ago. Yesterday, he watched my comeback meet in silence and clapped through tears when I hit 500. I'd lost 70 pounds during chemotherapy, and even after 6 months of training alone in my garage, I still looked like a skeleton compared to my former self. When I finally worked up the courage to walk into Iron Paradise for a real workout, my arms looked like pencils sticking out of my baggy tank top. What the muscled regulars didn't know was that before the cancer, I'd squatted 800 pounds and held world records in 3 different weight classes. Back then, I'd learned not to judge someone's strength based on their appearance. It looked like the guys here hadn't learned that lesson. The biggest guy there, who everyone called Tank, watched me set up at the squat rack with just the empty barbell for my warm-up and immediately came over. "Little man, this is a serious gym for serious lifters," he said while looking me up and down with disgust. "The Planet Fitness is 2 blocks down where they give you free pizza and won't judge you for wasting everyone's time." When I explained I always started with the bar to warm up properly, he laughed so hard he had to wipe tears from his eyes. My chest tightened, but I kept my mouth shut because I'd promised my therapist I'd avoid confrontation while rebuilding my confidence. The cancer had taken enough from me, and I wasn't going to let some gym bro take away my first day back in a real weight room. His workout partner Brad started filming me, mocking how slowly and precisely I moved through each rep. "Look at this guy treating 45 pounds like it's a max attempt," he narrated loudly. Probably the most weight he's ever handled in his pathetic life. The whole gym could hear him commenting on how my visible ribs meant I'd never touched a weight before. I gritted my teeth and continued my set, focusing on my breathing the way I'd done during chemo when the nausea got overwhelming. Tank moved directly behind me as I added 1 plate per side, close enough that I could feel his breath on my neck. "Watch this, everyone," he announced. "This is where fake lifters get exposed." He reached out and poked my exposed spine through my shirt mid-squat, making me wobble slightly as people laughed. "I can count every bone in his back. This kid's built like a xylophone." The poke threw off my balance and I had to fight to complete the rep, my face burning as I racked the weight. I wanted to tell him I'd squatted his body weight for warm-ups before the cancer, but I knew they'd just mock me harder for lying. Tank's girlfriend wandered over and gasped when she saw me up close. "Oh my god, are you okay? Like medically?" she asked with fake concern. Tank grabbed my arm and lifted it, showing everyone how his fingers could wrap completely around my bicep with room to spare. "Feel this," he told her. "It's like grabbing a chicken bone. This is what happens when gamers try to become athletes." My stomach churned as more people gathered to watch, but I moved to the bench press anyway, still trying to complete my workout. Brad spotted my gym bag and grabbed it, dumping everything onto the floor. My old competition photos scattered across the rubber mats, pictures from when I weighed 220 pounds of solid muscle. Tank picked one up and burst out laughing. "This skeletal loser actually brought fake pictures as inspiration," he announced, holding up a photo of me deadlifting 700 pounds at nationals. "Look, he photoshopped his face onto a real powerlifter's body. That's the saddest thing I've ever seen." He started tearing them up while I stood frozen, watching 3 years of competitive memories turned into confetti. Brad called the manager over, claiming I was making other members uncomfortable with my concentration camp physique and suggesting I needed medical clearance. Tank added that I was a safety hazard who might collapse and create a liability issue. "Plus, it's bad for business," he said. "New members see this walking skeleton and think our supplements don't work." They brought over the gym scale and Tank literally picked me up and placed me on it like a child, announcing 132 pounds of pure weakness to everyone. His girlfriend said her purse weighed more, and to prove it, Tank grabbed me under my arms and did bicep